Will you be including this information, this proposal, as part of your HST webpage that you're advertising in these ads?
We will, yes. The webpage will be updated and will include the policy changes.
So essentially you're going to be advertising this non-partisan advertising campaign that you've been engaged in is going to be advertising the government's solution, its fix to the HST.
Well, of course we are. We're going to make sure the public know about that. Now remember, back in April when I first announced that we were going forward with an information campaign, it was Sean Leslie actually that asked me the question, would, after you go through this listening exercise, will you be announcing whatever the change or the policy changes that you'll be making? And I said at that time, yes, we would. And that's exactly what we're doing.
You have a voter's guide that's going out to British Columbians as a whole about the HST.
Yes.
Two-part question. Number one, have those guides been printed? And number two, are you going to be allowing Fight HST and the Smart Tax Alliance to update the material that they are going to be including in that guide to help voters decide on whether to support the HST?
So the answer is that because when the Premier made the decision to move up the date of the referendums, obviously we had to move very, very quickly to make sure that we could get the public engagement underway, fund both sides to begin the process of the public debate over whether to keep it or go back, start the debates that would take place sponsored around the provinces under the aegis of the community colleges and the universities. And we had to move quickly. And we also had to move forward with printing that voter's guide to make sure it would land in doorsteps, obviously, prior to them receiving the referendum ballot. So the simple answer is no. We were unable to make the changes that I've announced today as part of the voter's guide. We did include a paragraph that there is public policy changes that have been made with respect to the HST, and that they ought to make sure that they have information before they make their decision.
It seems kind of like, I'm sorry, but it seems like you're kind of stacking the deck here in terms of the referendum.
No, I've heard that argument, but I got to tell you, for 2 years, we have been, frankly, completely absent from this discussion, and that's fine. The opposition and the groups, the Delaney's and the Fight HST people have had the field, and we have not filled that vacuum in at all by providing any information to the public. And I think that's deplorable. I've always said that. So I don't make any apologies about the fact that we are trying to make sure that the public has basic information. And I think that the voter's guide that we've said is going to go out is going to have the argument of the Fight HST people. It's going to have the argument, a summary of the independent panel. It will have the government's position on the HST. It will have rebuttals from both sides so that they can rebut the points that were made by each side. It will be a thorough, balanced piece that will allow the public to read through that and decide whether they wish to support going back to the PST plus GST.
But you've got a advertising campaign going on right now that's directing folks to a website that's going to include your solution for the HST. You're sending out a voting package which won't have any of the updated information, which could be the principal way people know about this, other than your own information campaign, which you originally claimed was nonpartisan, but is essentially supporting your solution here, because it's going to be linking to a website that includes your solution.
Well, yeah, we have a website that includes facts for people. Now, if there's any facts in there that are inaccurate, you should tell me about it, but I haven't heard that yet. And look, I mean, if the facts are uncomfortable for opponents in particular, I'm sorry about that. But I make no apology for making sure the public has the facts in front of them. I mean, some of those facts, I think, are very uncomfortable for people that want to go back to a PST plus GST system. There's no question about that. But that's something that I think the public is capable of sorting through. I give the public credit to be able to do that.